Minneapolis charge shooting audio captures first responders and rushing to chaotic scene in deadly attack. Police chief. Police chief says FBI investigating attack as hate crime and domestic terrorism after a shooter killed two children. And newly released dispatch recordings detail the rapid police response after a shooter opened fire at Minneapolis Catholic Church Wednesday, and prompting, by the way, urgent calls for all available assistance. And this hour, by the way, long audio recording captures and dispatches police officers and other first responders coordinating a large-scale emergency, by the way, response after gunfire erupted during a morning charge service. And Minneapolis, by the way, has a possible active shooter. One responder said over the radio, says that as officers arrived, they reported multiple victims and called for urgent reinforcements. And the recordings also reveal, by the way, their efforts to keep ambulance routes open amidst growing chaos. And our primary goal, by the way, here is traffic mitigation on 35, and we need to get these ambulances out of here once they start rolling out with more victims. And one officer says that EMS, by the way, is coming in. Multiple victims, another dispatch voice confirmed. And responders quickly requested an urgent need for medical supplies on the scene. And bring all, by the way, bring all the quiz, and that you have one officer radioed in graphic details of injuries emerged throughout the audio despite some segments being obscured by radio inferences. And we have two patients, by the way, with gunshot wounds to the head in front. One responder reported that. By the way, there is also a critical patient in the rear of the church, and the authorities also emphasized the need to prevent scene overcrowding. And anyone, by the way, not on scene don't respond. And we need to preserve northbound 35W for ambulance traffic to HCMC. One official warned, and don't come to the scene unless you are assigned. And I need you, by the way, at staging on Diamond Lake to start escorting ambulances. According to police, the shooting unfolded, by the way, around 8:30 a.m. time. As the service was beginning, the shooter, identified, by the way, as 23 years old, Robin Westman, and opened fire, by the way, from outside the church, and firing dozens of rounds and through stained glass windows. Westman, and was, by the way, born Robert before later identifying as Robin, by the way, dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And during a Thursday news conference, Minneapolis police chief Brian O'Hara recounted the bravery of the first officers on the scene. And a Minneapolis police officer, by the way, in a regular uniform with no helmet and no SWAT gear ran into the church and was met by a parishioner who directed him towards where the gunman had been, O'Hara said. And the parishioner later told me that was the first time that the children and the others there had any seen, and that they might be safe and survive. And the shooting, by the way, has drawn comparisons to the deadly convenient school attack in Nashville, Tennessee, in 2023, and when a shooter killed 3 students and 3 adults. And Don Aaron, spokesman, by the way, for the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department said it's important to focus on the victims rather than the shooters' twisted planning. And the stark reality, by the way, is that mass shooters read about and study their predecessors before committing their own carnage. And they told Fox News by the way, Digital, we know the shooter in the Covenant case did as she planned her attack over a period of many months. And she went by the way through firearms training during the period without setting off alarms. And she had no adverse contact with law enforcement prior to the day of the shooting after a lengthy investigation. And the shooter, by the way, the shooter quest for notoriety was deemed by the way to be the motive. And she wanted her bedroom to be preserved by the way, and movies and books to be made about her. And that is why it is so important to make the victims and the focus of public statement in the day, weeks, and years after these horrible crimes. And most people, especially law enforcement, and don't want to publicly focus on the shooter's twisted planning so that it doesn't influence others. Thank you so much. Have a nice time and good day. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you so much.